who that was new for. I'd love to know if you know that piece. Stacy Trevinon from my high school class is here. Hi, Stacy. It's a fun piece, and I get asked all the time by parents, by grandparents, how do I influence the children in my life to enjoy classical music? This is one of the ways. It doesn't have to be, you can share this Facebook Live with them, but you could stream this. It's, you know, there are much better Mozart players who have recorded this. And, you know, when kids recognize themes, and like that's part of their nursery rhymes and part of their cartoons and part of their daily life. There's so much classical music in cartoons. They get really inspired by it. So it's a great way to introduce them. I have a couple students on, Eric, Elizabeth, who could be playing this piece. I don't know if you've played it. And it's just so fun. So going on to a piece that everybody knows, Für Elise. I've actually, you know, I probably, Trudy Spector, my mom is on, maybe you can tell me, did I play this as a kid? I've taught it a million times, so this time I really learned it. I don't remember ever playing it, but I've sat down and played it for students hundreds of times. And so Für Elise means for Elise. There are some different historical definitions of this. So this wasn't published till Beethoven's death, till after he died. And it was written earlier though. So there's a few stories going around. One was that it was actually written for a woman named Therese. So it wasn't for Elise, it was for Therese. And it was a student of his that he was in love with and proposed marriage to, which she said no, and she went off and married I think a conductor, a maestro. But there's another historical rendition that this was written for a 17-year-old pianist, Elise, and you know, we don't know, but it really is a simple, beautiful composition. It's timeless, and surely you'll recognize it, and it's something that kids always want to play. So Für Elise, probably, I think for the first time I played this in public too. So my mom, Trudy Spector, is on, and Linda's here. Linda, Mom, maybe you can tell me, did I play this as a kid? Do you remember? I don't know. I must have, but it was a long time ago, so I don't remember. Fun piece. So moving on to Debussy, one of my favorite composers, maybe 2 months ago or more. This is, I think, my 22nd Facebook Live during the pandemic. And 2 months ago, I did an all-French program with quite a bit of Debussy. Thank you for the silent applause. I'm so glad to have them in the floating emojis form. Thank you. So I did an all-French program, a lot of Debussy, and he wrote a children's corner suite. And in looking this up, this also has a different history than I had learned, and so I'm thinking this one is the real history, the real truth. So Debussy had a daughter who he nicknamed Chou Chou, and he adored her. I mean, he she was his spark and his inspiration for so much. And I think the truth is that he wrote this piece for her when she was 3 years old. And it was written, I wrote a note to myself, give me 1 second. And wrote this, he wrote, this is his inscription, to my dear little Chou Chou, with tender apologies from her father for what follows. He was a very humble man, supposedly. And the other rendition, historically, that I've heard about this, which makes sense, except that the timeline of which he wrote it makes more sense that he wrote it when she was 3, which is the first piece you'll hear is a really wonderful finger exercise. It's actually, I've discovered it's actually good for my hand to get it stretched. And it's a little bit of a takeoff of churny etudes, which is something most students study when they're younger to really build their hand dexterity. And so it's a little bit of a takeoff on that. And he wrote it while he heard her practicing, which couldn't have been true because she was too young, she was 3. But it makes a great story. If she was, let's say 7 or 8 and she was practicing, and you'll hear a part where she wanders, the mind wanders, and it kind of drifts, and it's dreamy, and it's so Debussy-like, and then it goes back to no, I should be practicing these churny exercises. So this is actually, I think it's a 6-movement suite, and I'm playing the first movement and the last movement, so the Gradus and Parnassum, and the last movement is the Golliwogg's Cakewalk, which is so fun. I did a little preview of it this morning on my in my music pajamas called Piano in PJs. It's now an Instagram account I have, and it's very fun. And so in reading about the Golliwogg's Cakewalk, first of all, I didn't know a cakewalk it was a dance that was designed sometimes as a contest that the winner won a cake. That's why it was called a cakewalk. I had no idea. And the Golliwogg was a doll. So this was written around the early 1900s, 1903, 1904, and the Golliwogg was a very popular doll at the time, and kind of a little bit resembled a Raggedy Ann doll, except black face, and was always dressed in red, like a red top buttoned up, a red blouse, and red belt, and red pants with a black face. And apparently at the time it was adored by children of all color. More recently, it's been brought to my attention that I was reading about this. I'm really looking at myself and wanting to be all-inclusive of, are there areas of my life that we all have to learn about racism. So I'm diving into that and what have I learned. And so in more recent times, the Golliwogg doll itself has become a racist figure. However, so if I'm offending anyone, please tell me, I'd like to know. But I did not feel like I had the authority to go change Debussy's title for this piece of Golliwogg's Cakewalk in the same way that they're changing Aunt Jemima, that name. I just didn't feel like I had the authority to change Debussy, but my guess is at some point it might be changed. So it's a very fun piece, and it's lively, and it's a dance, it's a cakewalk. So the Dr. Gradus and Parnassum, followed by the Golliwogg's Cakewalk from the Children's Corner Suite of Debussy. was fun. And grab something. Look at this first. So I hope that lifted your mood, you know, better than watching the news, right? So, it's such a fun piece. Thank you for those hearts. And again, I have students on who could be playing this. It's fun to be learning music that I've taught so much, but I've never really studied as much. So it's really fun for me. So I'm going on to, let me just check one thing. Okay, we're good. Going on to Schumann, so Romantic German music in the 1800s, and he wrote a beautiful set of works. So Schumann was very known for writing large works that were lots of movements. Kinderszenen, which you're about to play, and Papillon, and David's Bunlertans, and Kreisleriana, they're all contrasting movements. And this is a shorter work, so it's scenes from childhood. And you'll probably recognize that these are themes that are used in a lot of movies, and I've recorded them on my dog albums, and because they're very relaxing. Gina's gonna think so. I think she's already snoozing. And if you have dogs at home, it will help keep them calm. And so starting with the first movement from Foreign Lands and People, going on to Kinderszenen, which is maybe one of the most famous, and then probably my favorite, which is Child Slumbering of Robert Schumann. Okay, she likes that. Thank you. So many of you may know, look at some comments. My mom, as reliving her younger years, probably lots of memories. Thank you for the hearts. Many of you may know I have a 10-year history of creating music. Thank you, love the hearts. Of creating music for dogs and cats. So I don't know how much you saw Pandora, the black and white cat. She's obsessed with the piano. So she's not my cat. I have been house and cat sitting in this gorgeous home with this brand new Steinway that belongs to my student that I helped her shop for and choose. And it's Pandora is obsessed with playing piano. So if I like, it could be the middle of the night, and I could, you know, when cats are most awake, and if I leave the lid open, she'll just start playing the piano. Literally, she'll just start playing the piano. And so when I practice, I have to keep the lid closed to prevent what just happened, which is she walked, you only saw part of it. She walked inside the piano, she hung out by the strings, and the top was walking on the strings, which was affecting the sound. And so I had to move her from the piano. But she's just obsessed with piano. So, and Gina likes to hang out in her dog bed, as you can see right here. She's in her famous S-curve. So I'm going to close the program with a really, really fun, lively piece, short piece by Villa-Lobos, a Brazilian composer, and he wrote this in the, mid-1900s, I think around 1960 something, I want to say. And he wrote a suite called The Dolls Family, and I've played many of those, and my mom may recognize this one and others I've played when I was in high school, the rag doll and different dolls. Well, this is the clown doll, or sometimes called the punch doll, polichinelo, and it's just fun, it's lively, it's a great way to end the evening. So enjoy Polichinelo by Villa-Lobos. Thank you. That was so fun. So I played that on my debut recital when I was 14. I did a whole Villa-Lobos suite floral. And I think I played that here early on, like way back in April when I did my All Latin program. And this was one of my 2 encores, and it's just so fun. So thank you. If you were here last week, I told you I was going to be playing a different program. So I mentioned a big program with a big left hand work. It's not ready yet, so I'm postponing that another week, maybe 2. It's just taking more practice. Thank you so much for the applause. I love them. And so appreciate you sharing this with anyone. If you have kids in your life, share this with them. It's a great way to expose them to classical music. Share it with the adults who are kid-like in your life. Really, it just helps get the word out. I really appreciate it. And as always, I'm so grateful for any donations. I left a PayPal link in the program description and the event description. And I will be back next week. So next week is Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. I am pretty sure I will be back. I will keep you posted. Please join my mailing list if you're not already on it, lisaspector.com. And I will update you. I have some pretty exciting new things coming up, and want to keep you informed, so that's a great way to do it, as well as a whole bunch of freebies you'll get when you join, and depending on your interest. And I so appreciate, I know there's a million things you could be doing with your time, and I so appreciate you being here. And I know for those of you in California, Oregon, Washington, stay safe. So much going on. It's really every week. It's just something. And so stay safe. Be well. Let music be your escape. Let music be your your sanity through these really challenging times. So I hope I provided that for you. I know there's nothing I'd rather be doing with my time right now during these challenging times than making music and sharing it with you, and I so appreciate you being a part of that. I'm really very honored, so thank you very much. Be safe, be well, and I will see you soon. Thanks.